Have you ever needed to generate random values in your code, only to find that the default options just don't cut it? If that's you, then you're in the right place. Today, we're going to tackle how to create a random Boolean that favors true 70% of the time. I totally get it. It can be really frustrating when you want a specific outcome from your code, but the standard random functions just don't deliver. You're not alone in this. Many developers face similar challenges. Here's the specific situation we're looking at. One user recently asked, how can I generate a random Boolean that is true 70% of the time and false 30% of the time? This is a common requirement in various applications, so let's dive into how we can achieve this. So what do we need to do? The standard method of generating a random Boolean uses a simple comparison against a value like 0.5. To create an uneven distribution, we need to adjust that threshold. Let's break it down step by step. And stick around. At the end of this video, I have a bonus tip that will help you understand random number generation even better. To generate a random Boolean with a 70% chance of being true, the user should modify the existing function. Instead of checking if a random number is greater than or equal to 0.5, they will check if it is less than 0.7. Next, the user should update the if statement to reflect this new condition. If the random Boolean is true, the function will call the trade method for a call option. If the random Boolean is false, the user should ensure that the function calls the trade method for a put option instead. This will complete the logic for both outcomes. Finally, the user can test the updated function to see if it produces the desired distribution of true and false values. They can do this by calling the function multiple times and logging the results. Fun fact, did you know that the concept of randomness has been debated for centuries? Some philosophers even argue that true randomness doesn't exist, but in coding we can create our own version of it. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach suggests using a simple condition to generate a random Boolean. The user explains that math.random produces pseudo-random numbers. They recommend a straightforward solution. Set the random Boolean to true if math.random is greater than or equal to 0.3, which gives you a 70% chance of true and 30% chance of false. Let's take a look at another answer from another user. An alternative approach provided by a user involves creating a function called random% for true. This function takes a percentage as an argument and returns true based on that percentage. For example, if you want a 70% chance of getting true, you would call random% for true with 70. The user also includes a helper function called randomNumber, which generates a random number between a specified minimum and maximum. This is used to determine if the output should be true or false. Additionally, the user mentions that these methods have been thoroughly tested with various cases using Mocha, ensuring their reliability. Here's the bonus tip I promised. Experiment with different thresholds to see how they affect your outcomes. This can help you understand the nuances of random number generation even better. And there you have it. You now know how to generate a random Boolean with a 70% chance of being true. Remember, experimenting with your code is key to mastering programming. If you found this helpful, hit the subscribe button for more tips and don't miss our next video on advanced randomization techniques.